Dr. Peterson, I have an interview for medicine coming up very soon. It's structured in the MMI format and it's intensely competitive. Any tips on how to stand out from the rest? Well, the only thing I could say is that two things. One is really pay attention to the interviewers, right? Super attention. Like, don't glare at them like you're aggressively paranoid, but like, make sure you're focused on them. And then the other thing I would say is say what you really think. Like, tell the truth. It'll make you, first of all, if you tell the truth and it doesn't work, then, you know, maybe that's not the school for you. That's something to really think about. And if it doesn't work anywhere and you tell the truth, maybe medicine isn't for you. And I know that might be a terrible shock. But let's assume that you are genuinely, properly motivated to study medicine. Then tell them what you think. You know, so many people when they go into an interview try, and they do this when they write essays too, is try to tell the interviewers what you think they want to hear. But you can bloody well be sure that virtually everybody who's being interviewed is going to do that. And I don't think that's very advisable, because if you don't manifest yourself the way you are, then there's no way that the path that's proper for you can reveal itself. I know that sounds sort of mystical, but I don't know how to put it any better. The best way to stand out in an interview, always, assuming you're competent and that you've done the preparation, you know, and that you're not living a lie, is to actually say what you think. And hopefully what will happen is that there will be other people on the panel that are looking at you who are of the same type. And that would characterize a good position for you, a good place to be if there are people like that. And they'll note what you're doing, and then they'll think, you know, that person, you know, they'd be good. They're straightforward. They're honest. They're tough. They can say what they think. And if there aren't people like that on the panel, then I would say you probably don't want to go there anyways. So that's what I would do. Be true to yourself, you know, but that also assumes that you've done your homework and that you're prepared in all of that. Because if you're a useless jackass and you're yourself, well, obviously that isn't going to work. So good luck with your interview. But I always think that, like, the other thing too is don't treat the interviewers as enemies. You know, and that's hard, because if you're kind of petrified about the potential outcome and you feel intense judgment, then you're likely to go in there kind of afraid and nervous and maybe even resentful. It's like you've already done enough so that you're going to get interviewed. So in some sense, the interviewers are hoping that you'll be great already. You know, there might be the odd cynic in there who's trying to figure out a reason to give you an X and check you off the list. But most of the people sitting there, if they have a clue, are going to be looking for good candidates. And they're going to assume that you've hit threshold. And so it's not like they're not on your side. And so that's a good thing to keep in mind too. You're not going in there to face a panel of enemies. You're going in there to face a panel of the sort of people that you're likely to be in 10 years. So that's another thing that's really useful to keep in mind with interviews in general, I would say.